We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jakari from Twisted Nightmare Gaming and Inland Nightmare Network. And I'm going to switch things up just a little bit. I may, over the next couple of weeks here, periodically just drop a random list of wrestlers that I've particularly grown fond of in a specific company. Whether it's Ring of Honor, pre-Tony Khan acquisition, New Japan, WWE, AEW. I might even go back as far as like WCW and ECW. But subject to this one is TNA / Impact Wrestling. But the thing is I'm not, anybody that I talk about in this video will not be in another video, with maybe the exception of AJ. And that's only because of his run in New Japan. I will not mention him in the WWE video. I won't mention him in the Ring of Honor video unless it's about a match that he had with somebody on the Ring of Honor list. But I'm going to be real with you. I'm likely not even going to mention AJ in that one. It's funny because Moose also is originally in Ring of Honor. So, there's that. Low-Key and Samoa Joe, Ring of Honor veterans. So, with this list, it's not gonna be a top 10 or 11. Technically, James Storm, the funny part, this is the third time I've actually shot this video. So, I remembered to re-grab the picture of James Storm. There's a reason why there's 11, even though this would technically be a top 10 list. I'm not going from 10 to 1 or whatnot, but I will literally say this. If I talk about Bobby Roode, I have to talk about James Storm. And I'm a massive fan of both of their runs in TNA. So, but let's get on with it from where I'm at with this. I'll go from, might as well just go from the most recent to the furthest back, which really does put AJ, Ron Killings, and Low-Key. No. It would really end up being Ron Killings and AJ Styles, because they were there from the very beginning. I think James technically was there from the beginning too. Bobby came just a little bit, like a year or so later. And Joe, Low-Key was there from the beginning too. I can't forget about that. Because Low-Key and AJ were running both TNA and Ring of Honor simultaneously. When Joe got signed, it was about that time frame. It was maybe a year before Joe came in that they started cutting people who running both promotions, because they considered them rivals at that time, which annoys me. So, I said starting from the most recent. So, starting with Moose. I ain't gonna lie, I've been a fan of Moose since his Ring of Honor days. People cannot stand him, but I ain't gonna lie, one of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my life. He's improved since his Ring of Honor run. And that does include on the mic, though it is a weak point of Moose's still to this day. But he's gotten a shit ton better with it. Let's go. This guy. You recognize this guy currently in the WWE as L.A. Knight. But I'm going to be honest with you. I liked him a hell of a lot better in his big heel dummy button run as Eli Drake. That includes him tagging with Scott Steiner. That includes a lot of different things that he did in TNA. So, there's that one. Oh, there we go. Going backwards, technically now, I have to talk about Bobby, who had 2 stints in TNA back in like the late 2000s, like 08, 09, while he was still doing MMA. And then he had the second stint from like 2014 to 2016, 17-ish. In that time frame when he was with MVP and Joe and Low Key and Kenny King and the Beatdown Clan and yada yada yada. Even then, I loved, because he's literally run the exact same gimmick from the Beatdown Clan all the way to now with the Hurt Syndicate. It's the same faction. It's the reason why I chose to put him in the TNA one rather than the WWE one or the AEW one. Because this one basically was the precursor to all of those. And then at the end of his second run, remember, he's the reason that they created the TNA Grand Championship. And they deaded the King of the Mountain Championship / the TV title / the Legends title. So, because at the very end of his run, he was the TNA World Champion, one half of the Tag Champions, the Grand Champion, not the Grand Champion, it was the King of the Mountain Champion / TV Champion, because they repackaged that belt like 7 times towards the end of it. And he was also the X Division champion. Like, he literally ran through everybody. And then I remember he throws the belt at, I forgot who it was that was in charge of Impact Wrestling at that time. It says, do something with this. Make a better belt. And that led to the Grand Championship. Technically, I could have put... Actually, at this point, I'm going to just go straight with Broken Matt Hardy. Specifically, Broken Matt, even though that outfit still also reminds me of Woken Matt in WWE. But this is, Anyways, probably some of Matt Hardy's best character work in his career. One of my favorite iterations of Matt Hardy is this. My second favorite Matt Hardy iteration is version 1. Let's move on. But this led to him actually basically controlling his little brother, which made that even funnier. And then if you've seen the photos from, if you've been on any of my social media going back to like 2016 when they were still in TNA, and they did the Bound for Glory match, the Great War between them and Decay, I was there for that. Me and Twisted were there for that. Absolutely love that match. I was actually there when they were in Ring of Honor. For the brief stint they were there in Ring of Honor because they came to Lakeland. Dropping the titles, I think it was back to the Bucks. In fact, it was back to the Bucks. And then the next night they were at WrestleMania. They were in TNA. They left TNA. They went and did the Indies while in TNA. After their time in TNA ended, they went to Ring of Honor, won the tag titles in Ring of Honor from the Bucks, dropped them back to the Bucks because the next night they were back in the WWE as the Hardys. Alright, so Storm had technically 2 stints in TNA because he left in 2014, went to the WWE for literally a cup of coffee, and then literally was back in TNA like nothing ever happened. But in talking about Storm, not just his singles career, but primarily his tag career with that man. Yes, I know he was with Wildcat Chris Harris first, and they were America's Most Wanted. I absolutely detested that tag team. Even though one of my favorite tag matches was them versus Triple X. One of my favorite tag teams of all time was Beer Money. In fact, if you want me to put top 10 favorite tag teams as a list, they're going to be in my top 10. So, absolutely love them as a tag team. When Bobby turned on James, cracked him over the head with the beer bottle to win the world title, I absolutely love that run. Did it suck that James never really received, got that opportunity again to get the title back, or never won the title back after that? Yeah, it did. It genuinely did suck. But the character work, the dynamic between the two of them, still there. Absolutely loved it. Now, I can't talk about TNA without talking about this bastard right here, Kurt Angle. And yes, I call him a bastard. Not being an asshole about it, but I loved Kurt. His debut in TNA, absolutely fucking up. This man actually hurt my heart because I love Joe to death. But going back to Kurt, I remember when he was doing this shit. When he had the TNA World title right after they split from NWA. And he won the IWGP Heavyweight title. And I can't tell what belt that is on the other arm. But yeah, he basically was doing the mini belt collector thing. But his work in TNA, his different character routes, Main Event Mafia, him being able to switch from the drop of a hat from a heel to a face, to a heel, to a face, to a heel, to a face. And people actually got invested in it for the most part. Unlike certain wrestlers and that have probably flipped from face to heel more than 500 times and nobody gives a shit. Kurt was one of the absolute best in that company. In that damn near 10 years he was in TNA. So every accolade that he got in that company, he deserved. So going backwards, I'm going to group technically, now this is when I'm going to talk about low-key, AJ, and Joe. Even though AJ can have a segment in this by himself. Technically all three of them can. Low-key, even though this technically was the professional when he basically looked like Agent 47. It's still inside of the character for Low Key, because Low Key / Senshi, we will never call him by that WWE name. I refuse. Fuck all of that. His work, singles, and his just general realism, I absolutely loved it. Samoa Joe came into TNA like an absolute fucking beast. Just beating the absolute piss out of people. Week after week after week after week after week after week after month after month. And then that match, the unbreakable 3-way between him, AJ, and Daniels, still to this day, top 5, one of my favorite matches of all time in TNA. To this day. But his run as champion and him dropping the belt and then having to go through the climb to get it back from Angle made him better. Nation of Violence Joe was as much of a fucking demon as he was when he first came in. And let's be real, nobody doubts this man on the mic. And the walk-off is legendary. And this is no matter what company he's in. It doesn't matter if it's Ring of Honor, TNA, AEW, WWE. Mic work is on point. Now, we're down to the last 2 people, by the way. AJ Styles. Much like Ron Killings, they're from the very fucking beginning. One of the earliest champions in the company, period. Didn't matter if it was the tag champion, X Division champion, or heavyweight champion. He literally did it all in that company. He was the face of that company. And everybody remembers his transition into a lot of the AJ we saw in New Japan and even early beginning of WWE. We saw that transition of this AJ to no one using Evil Ways, which is a goated entrance music, to even when he left, won the fucking IWGP Heavyweight title and joined Bullet Club. What can you really say about AJ that hasn't already been said? Which now leads me to Ron the Truth Killings. Everything that I can say about this man a lot of people who didn't watch TNA in its early days and probably didn't watch R-Truth in his heel run with The Miz initially as Awesome Truth, that precursor where he came out smoking cigarettes and everything. Yeah. A lot of that was just him. That was just Ron. That is Sweet Charlotte, the 10 pounds of gold. Recognized as the first NWA World Heavyweight Champion. African American NWA World Heavyweight Champion. The only other person to win either the NWA World Heavyweight title or the WCW Championship, and when they were still technically tied to NWA, technically, was Ron Simmons, as in Farouk, as in damn. But his mic work, even in the early 2000s, was spectacular. His charisma, his athleticism, his in-ring savvy was really second to none. I love his work in the WWE, because his comedic timing is unmatched. But if there's one criticism I would always have, is in all actuality, he should have won either the WWE title, the World Heavyweight title, the Universal title. He should have won something other than just the mid card or the 24/7 belt in the WWE or the tag titles. He deserves more than that. So, I said I wasn't going to make this a list, but if you want me to make this, if you want me to rank how I would put them in this, it would go Bobby Roode and James Storm tied for 10th. Bobby Lashley at 9th. Eli Drake at 8th. Low-Key at 7th. Matt at 6th. Moose at 5th. Joe at 4th. Ron Killings at 3rd. Kurt at... Oh, wait. Did I say Matt? I missed Matt. I think I missed Matt somewhere. I don't remember at this point. Alright, so, yeah, Bobby and James tied at 10th. Lashley at 9th. Eli at 8th. Low-Key at 7th. Moose at 6th. Matt at 5th. Joe at 4th. Ron at 3rd. Kurt at 2nd. And AJ at 1st. I argue with a wall. I don't care. If you want me to make a list, that's what my list is going to be, goddammit. So, you can tell me what you think. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm probably going to do more of these with New Japan, WWE, and New Japan. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to be like the oldest person on that list is probably going to be Masahiro Chono. I'll be real with you. And maybe Scott Norton. In fact, they are on the list at some point. And ironically enough, MVP is on that list too. Which is going to make my boy Sal happy. So, anyways, catch you guys on the next video. There'll be more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content coming up very soon here. I am getting back into the deck profiles once I have, I can manage my days off more often, a little bit better. I've already kind of spoken to Lunarstar 10-3. We are not doing crossover breakers. There's genuinely no point. There's nothing that I want from it. We are going through the process of just trying to plan out the year in head-to-head. And unfortunately, the year in head-to-head technically is going to take place in January, right around sneak peek for Suda. In fact, don't be surprised if those videos come out literally in the same weekend or within a week of each other. In fact, honestly, they'll probably drop 2 days apart. Because I'm not going to upload... I'm going to have to upload the year-end video. The year-end video is going to go up on her channel. On Lunar Nightmare Network. And then the sneak peek will drop probably the exact same day on here. Little update when it comes to 2K24. I wanted to reset my universe, but resetting my universe resets all of the, all of the actual wrestler stats back to base, meaning I would have to go back in and re-edit everybody. That absolutely is not happening. So what I might do in a reset of sorts is take the belts away from all of my characters, and you see them, and bust them back all the way down to the bottom of the rankings, and then have them step by step, one by one. Or if the game decides to put them in a match, put them in a title match. But I will not forcibly put them in the title match. I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting, because I know, hell, of the, 4 years of universe mode that I've shown to this point, the same motherfuckers have been champions the entire time. So I know y'all probably got sick of seeing me, and me, my mother, Lunar Star 10-3, and Keisha, and Lunar Star 10-3, and Lunar Star 10-3 again. Different characters under each, under the names, holding pretty much all the gold. I thought about doing just the solo, where it's just one of my characters and I just do the matches until they put me in a title match. I mean, I have the option of forcing my hand into getting a title shot, but I might put the stipulation in that my character has to win, say, like 15 matches before I can put him in a title opportunity. I'll probably do that. But as always, this is your boy Jakari for Twisted Hammer Gaming and Ellen in the Little Nightmare Network. Holy fuck, I just realized this is 27 minutes. I've been rambling for 30 minutes about wrestling. Almost. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for all future notifications. I'm signing off now. Catch y'all in the next video. Oh shit. I almost forgot. My favorite thing about James Storm, and if you know what this means, I'm not referring to the tribal chief. Just say, because there's always room for one more.